Hello, 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 beautiful souls. Hmm. Thank you so much for being here. I want to jump right into this experience of this new moon solar eclipse. But before we do, I want to know how you're feeling. I want to know how you're feeling. These energies can be really intense. So if you're willing to share and you're here and you're ready to move through this experience together, send me a little emoji, maybe a word that kind of represents how you're feeling lately. It's important, I think, for us to share with each other how we're feeling along our journeys so that we can remember we're not alone. We can remember that we are not the only ones going through what we're going through. Um, so if you're feeling ready to share the little emoji, oh, Knight of Jewels has written grieving, grieving. And Diane has written stuck. Mm. These are heavy, these are heavy energies. And I acknowledge you and I see you and I thank you for sharing how you're feeling. And I thank you for being here despite all these heavy emotions, or maybe you're feeling just exhausted with all the ups and downs of life, and you set aside time to be here today. And I want to honor you for that. And I want to encourage you to honor you for that, for setting aside this time today. And we're going to make the most of it. We're going to come together as a community of creators, and we are going to make the most of these sometimes difficult, but just as Dancing Warrior Goddess has shared, powerful, powerful energies swirling around us along our creative journeys. So thank you so much for sharing. And thank you so much for being here. These are one of my favorite ways to connect with you all. And I want to start going live more often and connect with you in these ways so that we can really start to feel like a family here, which is what I've always wanted. I've always wanted Awakened Creators to feel like a big family. For those of us who maybe don't have family support for what we are pursuing and the art we want to bring into the world, and want this always to be a safe space for you. Oh, Diane, thank you. Thank you. And I'm so fortunate that you are here and taking this time out. Um, it is my absolute pleasure and honor to be here. So, as I mentioned, and if the audio or anything is weird, please let me know. I am hoping that I've got the levels correct. I do have some music playing in the background that I know sometimes that has interfered with your ability to hear me. So just let me know if we're good. So quick before we start and jump into the practices and the ritual today, I just want to remind you that it would be helpful for you to have something to write in, like a journal. I've got my Awakened Creators journal here. Um, you and a pen or a pencil, something to write with, obviously. Um, you may also find it helpful to have a little ritual item with you, which I have, as usual, my selenite wand, which I love and feel like really helps me tune in. I've also got a piece of celestite that I'm holding in my hand, but maybe you have a favorite item or a photograph or a blanket or a favorite hoodie or something that you want to have that's going to make you feel safe and secure in this space. And that's really important, especially because um, you know, astrologically, we've already shifted to the 0 degree of Taurus, so that can cause some feelings of vulnerability. So it's really important that you've taken a few steps to create a sense of security wherever that you are. And there's going to be time at the end of, near the end portion of this ritual where um, I'm going to help you cultivate some affirmations that are really personal to you. And if you are feeling safe enough to share them with the group, I would love for you to share them so that we can all affirm them for you, so that it's not just you stating your intention, but it is the whole of this community um, affirming your intention with you. Okay. Um, I love this. Oh, Wings of Jewels says, I have a journal that says the earth laughs in flowers, and I'm holding a piece of smoky quartz. Smoky quartz, yes. I have one little piece of smoky quartz, but I've always wanted like a big honkin' chunk of it. So maybe one day I will get my wish and have a big piece of smoky quartz. But that's a great and supportive stone to have, especially during this eclipse. So let's talk briefly about new moons, because I know we've got some new folks jumping into these creative rituals, um, and maybe a little bit curious about how and why we are here at Awakened Creators using lunar energies to support our creativity. And one of the main reasons why I point to the moon as a helper, a celestial helper, as far as our creative journey goes, is because it's it's so cyclical, and our creative journey is also very cyclical. There's many cycles within larger cycles, and that really just is how nature is. And so if we align ourselves to these cyclical energies and we make note of how we're feeling within them, what's coming up for us as they shift and change, we can get and harvest so much more personal growth along our creative journey, that it stops just becoming a pursuit of some external outcome, like selling a piece of art or becoming, have reaching a certain level of fame or having a book or music published, but it becomes a spiritual journey. And that's really truly what I believe, and why I stand behind Awakened Creators mission, is because I believe and know that our creative journey is a spiritual journey. It is so much more than we've been told, and so much more worthwhile than we often give ourselves the ability to understand. Okay. So the new moon is coming up every month to give you an opportunity to birth something. The moon and the sun are conjuncting, they're coming together. That masculine energy of the sun with the feminine energy of the moon are coming together to birth something new. And not only is this a new moon, and it's a new moon in Aries, which we'll get into soon, but this is a solar eclipse, which means that the moon is coming between the sun and the earth. Here's a little science lesson for you all. So that's a solar eclipse. The moon and the sun are conjuncting right in front of the earth. So a um, a shadow is we're basically, if we were to see this, which most of us didn't, I believe it was over India, um, this new moon eclipse, but you would see the sun, kind of blocked out by the moon. So the internal changes of our moon that our moon represents is being manifest into the material realm here on earth. So a new moon is already a potent and fertile time. A new moon eclipse is a very powerful and potent fertile time, and especially one in which, when I think of an eclipse, I always think of scissors cutting out and cutting away things that no longer serve us, so that we can manifest from a purer place. So this particular new moon is in Aries, and Aries is really representative of our ego, our persona. It's how we show up in the world, right? Here's me. This is my mask. This is my drag. I'm Amanda Stone. I'm the founder of Awakened Creators. I have short hair, and tan skin and I like to wear rainbows. Like this is my self that's shown to the outside world. So this new moon is really talking about that self that's showing up, which is really important if you think about your creative journey. How are you showing up? How do you perceive yourself and thus present yourself to the world? Spiritual communities, we can talk a lot about ego being a bad thing, but at its highest and greatest expression, our ego is what allows us to live in this earthly world. And it's important that we cultivate an ego, a persona that is reflective of our soul's truth and of who we truly feel we are. So this new moon eclipse is giving you an opportunity to shed some very final layers that have been hiding the true you from coming forward. And you might be seeing that manifest in disruptions in relationships that no longer resonate with the new you. Or perhaps you are coming into new relationships that are reflective of the new you, but maybe there's mindsets and beliefs about yourself that don't resonate with the new you. So there can be a feeling of incongruence between where you vision you're going and where you've been and what you've gotten used to. So this is definitely a time of rebirth. And I'm curious to know, for those of you who are experiencing powerful, maybe heavy, maybe even uplifting energies with this new moon, where do you sense that version of yourself is really stepping forward? In what area of your life are you sensing massive changes and a new emergence? Is it in relationships? Is it in your career? Is it in your relationship with yourself? Is it in your diet and your health? I'm curious to know where you are feeling these energies and this rebirth beginning. And as you share that, I want to just bring some information to your attention that an astrological service that I love very much. I subscribe to their newsletter. It's called Astro Butterfly. And the person who runs it is an amazing astrologer and provides very deep insight. And the email that we received regarding this eclipse this morning had some interesting little facts in there that I wanted to share with you to help emphasize the importance of this moment. So this is the second of two Aries new moons. If you remember, we did a new moon in Aries ritual about a month ago. That was an Aries new moon at 0 degrees. This Aries new moon solar eclipse is at 29 degrees. And there's only 29, from 0 to 29 before it changes to another sign. So we've literally gone from the beginning to the very end. And this is very rare. Astro Butterfly says this only occurs 3% of the time. 3% of the time, a new moon in the same sign occurs. Astro Butterfly also wanted to make us aware that this new moon solar eclipse is square Pluto, which is a very powerful planet, and some will argue not a planet, but in astrology, we honor the Pluto power as a planet and certainly as a powerful celestial being who brings massive change and transformation. That is Pluto's job, is to bring that phoenix-like energy to tear down what no longer serves and to allow the birth of something new. So for this second new moon in the sign, it's a solar eclipse, it's square Pluto. It is no wonder you are feeling how you're feeling, and that life is shifting the way it's shifting. So if you've been looking in the mirror thinking WTF is going on, this is how astrology can inform your journey and make it a little more bearable. All right. We've got some shares here that I want to emphasize. Oh, and thank you, Dancing Warrior Goddess, for sharing the website. I highly recommend their newsletter. Wings of Jewel says, yeah, relationship with boundaries with myself and others. Totally. I think that's energetically right where you're supposed to be. And we are going to create some affirmations to really, really embody the shifts and changes that are happening for you right now. So where are you ready to make some cuts? Where are you ready to sever some ties? Where are you ready to put some things behind you and allow for a new way of being, a new belief in yourself to emerge, or new relationship dynamics? If you're feeling ready to share, I would love to hear. For me personally, I'm ready to make some cuts in how I believe in myself. I haven't believed in myself very much. I've done a lot of, you know, shitting on myself, for lack of a better way to say it, like throughout my life. And now I'm really in a space where I'm witnessing that old behavior and I'm like, that's incorrect. Like, I am a good person. I am a great creator. I am a kind partner. I am a good mom. Like, those old beliefs are no longer in alignment with me. I don't believe them anymore. And I'm ready to sever ties with them. Thank you for your service. I have learned that I am worthy and I'm ready to move on. So, where might you be feeling the need to sever some ties, to cut some things out? It could be very tangible, like a relationship, and it could be very, an inner cut where you need to release some beliefs that aren't serving you anymore. Yeah, Dancing Warrior Goddess says, yes, that Phoenix energy. I have felt the death of accepting unhealthy relationships and communication and the birth of healthy love and communication. Absolutely. I feel that very much so as well. It's a brand new life, a brand new life. And if we're going to start a brand new life, the old stuff that is not in alignment with where you want to go can't come with you. It just can't. Okay. So you've had some time to reflect over the last month of what else needs to go in order for you to fully embody your life as an awakened creator. And that's really what I want to support you all in doing is I want to support creatives who know at a soul level, I'm meant to do this work, whatever that it is, visual artist, musician, writer, uh, dancer. There's so many different modalities, fashion designer, you could be a drag queen, like all of these ways of expressing yourself creatively, and you're wanting to fully embody and live that life without any apology or shame or self-doubt. And that is the path that the awakened creators are walking. So what needs to go? What's coming up saying needs to go in order for you to walk that path? This new journey is going to require you to be really brave, right? Aries energy asks us to be brave. It asks us to have courage. It asks us to be willing to start something new, even if we don't know where it's going, to take action, to be in our masculine energy of going for things that we want, and to fill ourselves with the passion that we have in our heart. So for me, that Aries theme is coming up as a confidence. Where do you feel like that Aries theme is coming up for you? And I would love for you to share what keywords that embody that Aries energy are you really anchoring into, or do you want to anchor into? Because you can affirm that desire to be there today, even if you don't feel like you're there yet. So, is it greater confidence, boldness, drive, taking action? Maybe you're tired of sitting on the sidelines and you want to embody action. Um, Is it a willingness to forge a new path, to blaze a trail on your own, even though you've never seen it done before, but you know in your soul knows that you're meant to be the trailblazer, not wait for the trail to be blazed and then follow, but you are meant to lead your life. So, what Aries themes do you feel like you're being called into right now? And it may relate a lot to your creative journey, but it may also relate a lot to other aspects of your life, like folks have shared relationships, which makes complete sense because the opposite energy of Aries is Libra. So it makes sense that this energy would manifest in a relationship dynamic. Okay. Ooh. Dream state vision says bringing in more discipline to make up for when there is no motivation with art and everything else. Yeah, I see that as that commitment to your passion, right? I was just telling my 8-year-old the other day because I read it in a book, which I will share. Give me just a second, actually, because this is a great book and I'm learning a lot. So this is the book I've been reading. Um, it's called Surviving the Emotional Roller Coaster, DBT Skills to Help Teens Manage Emotions. No, I'm not a teen. I'm going to be 38 this year, but there's an aspect of me that is still very much an adolescent, still very much feels those big teenage emotions sometimes, and still very much did not get any training in how to handle emotions growing up. My parents loved them, but they didn't teach me this stuff. So I got to learn it. So this book was talking about motivation and how motivation is not something that comes before we start, but it comes after we start. And that really helped shift my mindset, especially like Dream State Vision said, just regarding your art, like taking that first step, knowing that the motivation will build off of that rather than waiting for the motivation to fill up to a certain level and give you a green light to move ahead. That Aries energy may be pushing you to take that bold first step. Use your passionate knowing that this is what you're meant to do to trust the motivation will come once you get started. So, my son, for example, was not wanting to go to school. And I'm like, well, you don't have to want to go to school right now, but you just need to move in that direction. And as you start moving in that direction, the motivation to go to school will come. And sure enough, he went through the motions getting ready for school. And by the time we got there, he was excited to start his day. So sometimes we just need that extra little oomph. And it's not a bad thing. We tell ourselves a lot of lies about that. Needing the motivation means we're lazy or wrong or bad, or won't be successful, or we take on the identity of a procrastinator rather than a normal human being who who will feel the motivation after they get started. Um, Dancing Warrior Goddess says, boldly stepping into and receiving love without guilt or shame. Amen. Amen. And you all are so worthy of love. And one of the best ways that you can start to cultivate that sense that you are worthy of love is to love yourself through expressing your creativity. Do it for you, no one else. Do it for you. Do it because you love yourself. And you will begin to cultivate that sense of knowing that you really are meant to do this. You really are meant to love yourself in this way and to get closer to source through your art and journey your life through your art. So let your creativity be your guide. Okay, enough jibber jabber about the moon eclipse. It is powerful energy. You've heard about all the different aspects. We've shared with each other some of the ways it's showing up in our lives, some of the feelings that are coming up, and some of the nudges we're getting to the direction we are meant to go. So let's center ourselves now with some breath, and then we'll move into creating some affirmations that are truly soul aligned so that we can make manifest this new life as an awakened creator that we're ready to, wanting to live, maybe not totally ready to live, but our soul knows that we're already there. And it's just the human part of us that's trying to catch up to where we know we are meant to be. So wherever you are, I'd like to ask you to get even more comfy than you already were. Maybe wiggle a little kink out of your back or roll your shoulders around your neck. Start to just, let go of some of those heavier emotions and things you've been feeling just for a moment. You can pick them back up when we're done if you'd like. But for now, let's just energetically set them to the side, put them on the shelf. And we're just going to be here now together as a family, as a creative community, as a spiritual community, and be here for each other, be here for ourselves in this present now moment. And whatever feels good to you, whether you want to lay your hands, palms open up on your knees, or you want to place them over your heart, whatever feels good to you, to further center yourself in this space. And I want you to start breathing very slowly through your nose, deep down into your belly, extending your belly outward. Creative projects, you may want to download my heart alignment ritual guide. And I show you in the video and booklet how to do that practice. So let's explore the affirmations that I shared on social. You can refer to them if you'd like, or you can just listen to me because I have them up here. So don't feel like you need to have a bunch of tabs open or something. And what I would like you to do is to speak them aloud from where you're at and get a sense for how it resonates within you. And as you're speaking each affirmation, I would like to have you bring your awareness to any place in your body that you might feel a tension or stuckness or resistance. And also pay attention to any sensations that feel really good and like supportive or powerful. Ideally, you will always want your affirmations to feel powerful when you speak them and highly resonant. However, if you speak an affirmation and it does not feel resonant with you and you're paying close attention like we're going to today, you can glean a lot of information about where there is thoughts, belief structures, programming that is not allowing you to open up to the affirmation that you desire to, the thing you desire to affirm. So, this is where your mindfulness and attention is really going to serve you. So, settle back into that comfortable place you were, breathing calmly. And I'm going to read this first affirmation, and I'd like you to just notice how it feels. And after you've noticed how it feels, would love for you to share in the chat what you've noticed, and we can discuss it. So this first one goes like this, and repeat after me out loud. I am ready to become who I have always been. I am ready to become who I have always been. I am ready to become who I have always been. Maybe you're feeling supported by this affirmation, affirmative of the direction you're heading. Maybe the word ready makes you nervous because perhaps you don't quite feel ready. What do you notice? I am ready to become who I have always been. What do you feel? Where do you feel it? I want to make a note about this particular affirmation because a lot of times we can say that we are becoming a new person or changing into a new person. And I feel like sometimes that discredits the person we've been, or it is said to the exclusion of the person we've been, who maybe was filled with a lot of pain and a lot of hurt and, had to do a lot of growing, and to more so honor who we've been. I like to think that we're really reconnecting with who we've always been, and it's just a matter of getting closer and closer and closer into the center of our essence is what we're really doing, rather than discarding an old version and becoming a new version. Is we're getting closer to the truth of who and what we've always been. I am ready to become who I have always been. As children, we come into this world and we are innocent. And the aspects of ourselves that are true to us, like our effervescence or our tenacity or our talkativeness or our creative expression, comes naturally to us because we're so close to the truth of who we really are. And then through life, we get told we're too loud, to be quiet, stop crying, to not be emotional, to not be expressive, to be this way if you want to be considered an artist, but what you really want to do is not creative enough or not highbrow enough. So we start to cover up who we really are with layers and layers. And we're going back now to the heart. We're going back now to feel who we've really become, who we really are. Excuse me. I am ready to become who I have always been. So Wings of Jewels says that she doesn't really feel anything with this particular one. Why might that be? I'm just going to ask my guides what that means, if anything. So I'm hearing that neutrality is good. Like neutrality is fine. It's not something to be worried about. And in fact, a lot of times, especially when we are upset, when we are experiencing heavy emotions, the best we can do is get to neutrality about something. To expect ourselves to make a leap from really heavy emotions to high vibratory peak bliss and joy is unrealistic and unfair and not how it works. We're moving along a scale. We're sliding on a number line, and 0, neutrality, is in the middle. So sometimes when we are feeling neutral, especially if our emotional state has been in a lower vibration, just getting to neutral is a great success and beautiful. So that is what I feel like sharing in this moment. Yeah, that's a good point. And that will also assist you in the manifestation of your desires, especially if you struggle with a particular affirmation. Even just getting yourself to a neutral space about it is an improvement. Okay, so let's move on to the second one. And this one is my favorite for this season, this cycle. Let's see how it feels in you. I am no longer bound by the past. I am freed by it. I feel called to put my hands on my heart when I say this one. I am no longer bound by the past. I am freed by it. I am no longer bound by the past. I am freed by it. And I feel I'm called to place my hands over my heart when I say this in an effort to just give reassurance to my heart regarding this affirmation, because the past hurts a lot of the time. You know, if you can imagine that 3 of Swords card in the tarot and pulling out those 3 swords and that heart needing some more comfort and nurturing and love to heal. Tell me about how you feel with this one. I am no longer bound by the past. I am freed by it. Here's where we make peace with the versions of ourselves that have come before us. And instead of separating ourselves from it, realize that we could only become who we are now because of it. I can only learn to feel worthy If I'm my past, I am freed by it. Wings of Jewel says, yes, that all resonates given what I am experiencing in my life. Yeah, it's tough. And it's okay that it's tough. Hmm. And then Wings of Jewel says, ooh, I had a reaction to this one. I audibly said, ooh, and it felt like a full body yes. Fantastic. Those full body yeses. Ooh, I'm curious what your human design is if you're a manifesting generator or a generator. That sacral response, that when you really like something, that's very, that's a good sign. How many of you are feeling like the past is waving goodbye? Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. How many of you are feeling a freedom coming that you've never known before? If you could just let go a little bit more of the past, accept it for what it was, what it taught you. Fuel yourself with some of that Aries tenacity and boldness to move in the direction of your dreams. You are no longer bound by your past. You are freed by it. And two, I'd like to also say your creativity is a gateway through which you can release the past. And by past, I mean anything that happened prior to the now. It could be something that happened yesterday that you're still processing. It could be things that are from decades ago, sure, but it could also be more recent past that's calling for you to release and to remember that your art is a gateway through which to release and transmute. And if you're not already utilizing some of that creative energy that you've been given to process emotions and distorted belief systems, to transmute them into something more supportive of you and your life as an awakened creator, you're being encouraged to do so and to make the most of the gift you've been given, to let that stuff go for once and for all. And in the process, create something beautiful that can be shared if you're willing to share it and can help others process their past. I'm feeling called to very soon share some art that I've created over the last couple of months with regards to abuse trauma. And it's so funny that of all the people who hadn't processed it through my art, the founder of Awakened Creators, but I'm human. I read a lot, or I talked about it a lot. And then my sister said, why don't you paint about it? Light bulb. Why don't I paint about it? Let's see what happens. And through working on this painting related to the trauma I experienced, I had so many profound moments of release. And I'm not saying that it was like, yay, I'm over it. It was to encourage you all to utilize your creative expression to process the past and let it go. Creative Learning New York says the past was a caterpillar, the present is a butterfly. Yeah, we are definitely being reborn in this new moon eclipse. So let's sit with the third affirmation for this lunar event. And I think actually relates quite beautifully to what I just got finished saying about utilizing your art. And this affirmation, which you can repeat after me and just tune into how it feels and resonates within you, says, I am manifesting directly from my embodied heart. I am manifesting directly from my embodied heart. And yes, I spelled heart in this one with the ART emphasized. So this is your creative expression coming through your heart. I am manifesting directly from my embodied heart. Maybe this one feels really true to you, rings true to you. Maybe it challenges you. Maybe you haven't been creating from a fully embodied heart. Maybe you've been creating for other people or external expectations of how you think you're supposed to draw or write or what sells. I am manifesting directly from my embodied heart. Are you embodying your heart? Are you being love to yourself every day? Are you being love to yourself right now? And P.S., the answer is yes, because you're here. So you are being love to yourself right now. I am manifesting directly from my embodied heart. Anything else Spirit wants to say with this one? Just that the ultimate goal of all this stuff we're doing as humans is to become a living embodiment of love. The challenges that we face that come up are opportunities for us to get closer and closer to being love in those moments. Whether it's that we need to love ourselves more and discard beliefs that are not in alignment with love, or we're being called to love others in ways that have challenged us in the past, or we're being called to, one of you mentioned boundaries, love ourselves enough to put boundaries in place to protect ourselves from things we do not want. That is love. Boundaries are love. Boundaries are love. And that can be really difficult sometimes when the other side of the line involves someone that we are in relationship to. So I just want to acknowledge the difficulty for those of you who are experiencing relationship challenges. I understand firsthand how difficult those can be and how much they can disrupt the creative process. I'm still always going to encourage you to turn to your art, turn to your gift, turn to your expression as often as you can. It's there to help you. First and foremost, it is a gift from Source to you to help you through this life. Oh, Wings of Jewels said, I didn't feel much except I noticed my voice got whispery at the end. Embodied heart. A gentle heart. A tender heart. Maybe it's just a whisper right now, that embodiment that you're experiencing. That'll get louder with time and commitment to your art and your heart, to you. It's beautiful. Let's step into this final affirmation. And we might end up going a little bit over times. And I apologize for those of you who could only stay the hour. But I really do want to give you some time and support in creating your own affirmation. So let's sit with this next one and just let me know how it feels for you. We've already talked a little bit about rebirth. So here we are. This affirmation, that I am now reborn into my highest creative expression. And this might be a leap for some of you who are in the heavier energies right now, and that is okay. No judgment. There's no space for judgment. I am now reborn into my highest creative expression. Some of you are stepping into that very clearly right now. I am now reborn into my highest creative expression. That comes through embodying your heart and committing to that truth of who you are as a creative person. And manifesting from that place. And letting go of the past. And becoming who you've always been. They're all connected. Do you feel that now? They're all connected. All of these affirmations are connected. And build on one another. To where you are now reborn into your highest creative expression. You're already there. The version of you that is living the life that you've always imagined, fully in your creative expression, in every part of your being, in every part of your existence, already is. You are just catching up to them. Your human flesh body is moving through time to catch up to that version of you. It already is. You are all to create at least one affirmation that honors that part of you that's already there. How does that version of you feel? Remember, the Aries archetype is representative of our ego or persona, of how we believe we are, how we show up in the world. So that part, that you that exists in the future, that already is, how do they feel? What is their energy? Can you tune in and feel that? And I want you to make note of or write down the feeling word that comes to mind. Maybe it's peace. Maybe it's calm, illuminated. Maybe that version of you feels light, joyful. Grab that feeling word and hold on to it. I'm going to write one down as well. So how does that you feel? the you that is the full embodiment of your creative expression, the you that is released the past and freed by it, the you that is manifesting from a pure heart, the you that is who you've always meant to be. How does that you feel? Write that feeling word down. And then if you'd like to, and you don't have to, but if you'd like to add details to that feeling word, where do you feel that? In your relationships, in relation to your art? Is it just a general feeling? And if so, you can just leave the feeling word to be a full embodiment, or you can apply it to an aspect of your life that's poignant to you right now. So where, how, with whom do you feel that feeling? And I would love for you to share your affirmation you've created with the group so we can affirm it for you, with you, all together, and amplify its manifestation power as a creative family. Okay. So now what I want you to do is right in front of the feeling word, I want you to put I am. This is how we get the juices going out there in the cosmos. We speak it. I am. I am. It's not some destination we are moving to. It is something that we already are. We are acknowledging beyond space-time that we are connected to that part of ourselves that already is. So for me, the feeling word I wrote down is empowered. That version of myself that I attuned to felt empowered. So I put I am before it. So my affirmation is I am empowered. And if I had more details, I would have added to the end of that something. So let's see what you all came up with. Touch is the word that came through, and poetic imagery that I don't want to share right now. Okay. That's perfectly fine, Wings of Jewels. This is a safe place for you to both share and not share. Either way, you're loved, and we're so happy that you are here with us. So if anybody else would like to share, what was that feeling word? How does the you that's embodying life as an awakened creator, as who you've always been, and the fullest expression of your creativity, how do they feel? And I'll give you a few minutes. Oh, Wings of Jewels clarifies, I'm saving the poetic imagery for my poetry book. Yes. Bringing that poetry book to life. Beautiful. It's going to go far. This eclipse, wow, new moon, birthing that poetry book. It's a powerful time to do that work, baby. Oh, yeah. Dancing Warrior Goddess says, I am strong. So that version of you feels strong. Strong, empowered. These are all very, very Aries energies. I love it. Anybody else want to share before we begin our group affirmations? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and move into our affirming uh, ritual. So this is a part of this experience where we come together as a creative family, as a spiritual family, and we affirm for our brothers and sisters and all of us who are a part of this community to receive what it is that we have set down as an intention in this new moon solar eclipse. So the affirmations that you've shared in the chat, we are going to affirm for you and all of us because we want the goodness that comes from that experience, that embodiment for you to be something that we all also experience. So we're going to affirm it all together. You can speak it out loud, or you can just sit in your heart in resonance with the group and, send that good, yes, I agree. That is what you get to embody. That is what gets to come to you. You can send all that confirmative energy to your creator family here. And this is how we amplify that manifestation energy so that it's not just you in your room saying what you want. It is all of us saying, yes, you get to have that and believing it to be true. So any last minute drops into the chat, I will try to pick up on as we begin. Otherwise, I want you to get comfortable. I want you to start breathing as the energy starts to ramp up, as we start to ask all of our brothers and sisters in the spirit of the highest love and light vibrations to come through to amplify this manifestation energy under the light of this new moon solar eclipse in Aries. We call upon you and we ask you to cast a circle of protection around each and every one of us, that only the highest vibrations of love and light get to enter this space as we invoke and affirm for the Awakened Creators family the following affirmations. Starting with the beautiful affirmations shared by Dancing Warrior Goddess, that I am strong. I am strong. I am strong. I am strong. We affirm this for you. And we affirm that it already is for us, ourselves as individuals and collectively as a group. Affirmation is that poetic imagery a gift? Yes. So I'd like to affirm for Wings of Jewels as an individual and as all of us collectively that the inspired information and gifts that we receive in this new moon solar eclipse be amplified and magnified and magnetized, that all of the creative projects that we're working on individually and collectively are simply teeming with that energy of love and just expanded, and that energy just gets to keep going and growing and going outward further and further and further, and helping us grow more as creators and helping others to resonate with that message and open their hearts further. And so that everything that we touch, everything that we create, all the inspiration that flows through us is made as a magical gift to ourselves and to those around us. And that energy just gets to keep rippling outward and outward and outward and outward until the entire planet is just vibrating with love. Some light language wants to come through. I'm just going to surrender to this moment and allow this to come through. Sarantushnia ka urnit, serantushnia ka esa, unene ata esna asunishita, esa ursine ka, sana e ashna ushnia sena ate ahune, sianea ka usnia shinata, ustea kia, otea mia tiasena urnta. Thank you. I was not planning that. but I am doing my best to listen to my inner guidance rather than my fear. And that is how I am moving on from the old version of self. So thank you for being here and loving me as I love you. I hope you have the most beautiful, glorious day. And for those of you who are moving through tough stuff right now, you just hold on. Hold on to anything and everything you can. Hold on to me. Hold on to your art. Hold on to nature. Hold on to moving your body. Just hold on. You're going to be all right. Everything's going to be okay. And just hold on. Thank you. Oh, I love you guys so much. So sweet and kind. Thank you. And so it is. Absolutely. Yes. Thank you all for reminding me to close this ritual out with an affirmation that as we speak it, so it shall become. By the power vested in us from the Almighty Creator of all that is. We create our own reality. And so it is. Thank you. I love you all. Oh, sorry. Closing points. I'm so distracted by the energetics right now that I forgot to mention. And how funny one of my talking points is funny. If you haven't seen yet, we are now in the body element of this project, this collaborative art project we're doing with House of Reneves. So if you haven't checked out the social feed to see these participants are creating, each of them is from a different place all around the globe, people representing 13 different nations. And it's so important and such an honor for me to give a platform where people can express themselves and learn about each other, and find that what unites us is so much more powerful than what divides us. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out, I highly recommend that you do, and stay tuned as we move from body. Will be the rest of this week, and we'll start sharing the soul creations. So they're going to create works that are also representative of their concept and cultural perspective of soul. So that'll be really interesting to see how we all interpret soul. And then, yeah, the second talking point I had was that I want to do more channeling videos. I feel really called to share this part of myself with you all. I know it's kind of out there, and my fear is that it will scare people away or they won't understand it. But I have to do what I feel called to do. I've been trying to kind of suppress it or work around it or dance around it, and it's just not possible anymore. So look forward to more channeling, more light language. These are the things that bring me such spiritual peace and far more wisdom than I, Amanda, can humanly share. So I would like to open myself up more to receive divine truth and guidance, and trust that it is going to be of the highest and greatest good for this community. And that also means channeling more creators who have passed on. I'm really excited to get in touch with a few who've been knocking on my door recently. In particular, David Bowie has been showing up in multiple places. So I really feel like he's wanting to have a word with this creative community, as well as Jim Henson and a few others. So I will let you know that's what I plan on doing, and some of the content that I will be sharing in addition to doing more collaborative projects with others as well. So that it's not just me all the time, but you all get exposed to folks who have other amazing skill sets. One of whom may be listening. Shout out to Michael Suarez from Creative Learning New York, who's an incredible dream interpreter, and I would love to bring him on to talk to you all about utilizing your dreamscape for creative inspiration and creative problem solving. So that kind of stuff is where I'm heading, and I hope that you will stick around and call in others into this family, because we are absolutely stronger and more empowered when we are working together towards our common goal of being ourselves and expressing ourselves freely and without shame, and without holding back. So thank you again. Have a beautiful, beautiful Thursday. The energies of this eclipse will die down, so just hold on. I love you. Bye, y'all.